Hi, Becky.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Give me 2 seconds. Just take the last bite.
It's a wonderful big close-up of the sun. Oh, there you are.
To post it.
Oh,
I
Nice.
noticed the last few times when I've been in meetings, I've shut my camera off, that it
Yeah.
hasn't come back on. So I just use the post-it option now.
that's a much better idea.
Yeah, this one doesn't have some laptops have slides. This one doesn't. So post it.
I put a Band-Aid on one machine.
That works too.
Permanently. It was pre-Zoom. It was always on.
We had when I worked in admission, ours had cameras and we didn't do Zoom, so we all took permanent marker.
Ah,
It can be removed with a little bit of hand sanitizer. But
Black tape works really well in your car, and those little red lights that come on say this you're going to blow up or something. Just put a little piece of black tape on and you don't see it.
yeah, I put on there's things you can put on your window that like darken without letting UV light in for floors and furniture. And my light on my dash for my high beams is like neon, NASA can see this light from my dashboard. So I put that over it to dull it. I know my high beams are on. I don't need it, in my face.
Right.
All right. Are we ready to call ourselves to order, Eric?
I believe we are.
Okay. Let's take a peek at the agenda. We have open comment, opening the meeting. Are reviewing the agenda. So we have public comment, review minutes from November 22nd, December 20th, January 3rd, and January 17th. Review special town meeting, CPC appointment, DLTA issues offered by FERCog, MSBA boiler accelerated program, Gale Associates contract for the roof, police chief report, ACM roof sampling report, set annual town meeting date, and then administrator updates. Becky, is there anything we need to adjust in there?
I
don't-
just feel bad. I failed to add on the police report that it's for two purposes, and one is accommodation for one of our officers. So that's going to be very interesting and very positive.
Anything? Okay. So nothing else. Eric, did you have anything you wanted to add or needed?
Nope. No, it's all good.
All right. Well, let's get going with public comment. Does anyone have public comment? Please use the raise hand feature on your screen, please. If you have a public comment. Okay. All right, we'll move on. So let's review the minutes from November 22nd. I don't think I was here that day.
It was those
It
minutes
says you-
were very special.
I might have been. There was one I wasn't here in November. Maybe this.
It says you were.
Okay, I read them. Maybe it was the one after. Maybe it was the 29th after. Anyway, all right. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from November 22nd, and then we can do edits if we have any?
You have a motion. Say, I move that we approve the minutes from November 22nd.
Eric, do you have any edits or
The
comments?
edits I would have in general with all of these is they're all really good, and I would only wonder if they have to be this detailed. That's that's just a general question. And the second one is I just would not use the word I. It's not clear to me sometimes who I is, like who, whether it's Becky or whether it's who is the I. I have to read back and I have to figure it out. And I wouldn't use the word I would just use the TA or read or the select board chair or whatever, something describe who the person is. That's what I would, that's a sort of minor comment, I would think. Other than that, they're really good minutes, I think. All of them.
Yeah, we've been really good. We've been really lucky having good minute takers. Thank you, Geneva and Becky.
Yeah, really.
Right. So with those amendments, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes without those amendments?
You want to take them one at a time, right? We take
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would, I move that we approve the minutes from November 22nd.
All in favor? Or second, I'm sorry.
I
Second.
know, we're getting you're
Good thing we're practicing on the minutes.
yeah, really. Stalker,
right, so-
aye.
Okay, make peace, O'Neill, aye. Becky, thank you for putting them first. Do I hear a motion for December 20th?
So moved.
Okay. Any edits there besides your comment in the prior? For the prior
I don't think so. Oh, I found one really small mistake on the first page. It says CP monies, but you can no use CP money. It's not. It says a T, it's missing T, very minor, super minor. It's on page 1 at about almost all the way, well, 3/4 of the way down at least. Other than that, again, excellent. And except for that comment about the I thing, I don't think there's a question at all. I didn't have any questions.
All right, then all in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. Do I hear a motion for January 3rd?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second that. Edits, comments, questions?
I think the same thing. I think they're excellent, and same thing I would have. Oh, one other question I would have is, and I know what it means, but on page 4, I think you use the word CR. I just say it when like people, I mean, I know we know what these things mean, but I want to get them straight so people who are reading them know what they mean. So, I mean, I think I just, the first time I'd say it, I'd say conservation restriction and then CR in parentheses. Then you can use CR a million times, but that's all. That's the only thing that I have.
All right. All in favor of January 3rd, approving January 3rd?
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. And one more, January 17th. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second that. Any edits or changes to this one? Excuse me.
I don't believe so. Again, same comment like on page 3, number 6, it says DLTA. And I don't know. I'm not even sure I know what that one means. I can't ever remember.
When I was reading the agenda, I'm like, I know I should know what that means.
I'm just thinking it's Delta Airlines or something.
Right.
Like, no, it's not Delta Airlines. But anyway, so that's, what does it mean?
Becky?
Training.
Department.
No, it's, I'm just gonna pull it up. I'm sorry. DLTA. Training, and the word training is in there. It's the most important word because it means
No,
training.
labor training? No?
I think that's
Is it transportation?
No, I don't think it's
I'm gonna
transport.
stop guessing.
24.
Well, I would guess we should find out for the minutes to correct those minutes. That's all. And the same thing, I just use it that way the first. I think FERCog, probably you can use that one just any old way, anytime, because everyone knows that. I think everyone knows what that means. And we use it almost every week in every set of minutes. So, but DLTA we don't, and we don't even know what it means. That's a bad sign.
It's because we have alphabet soup with a lot of stuff that we do.
Yeah, right.
It means district local technical assistance.
There you go.
This
Very
one's-
good. Thank you.
District
Right.
local technical assistance. So all in favor of approving the minutes with that edit for January 17th?
So, yes. Aye, Stalker, aye.
Thank you, O'Neill, aye.
I'm not used to this at all. I'm not doing a very good job here.
That's okay. We're a little rusty. Okay, now we're on to about 5 minutes early, but review special town meeting.
Was there another one in December that we were supposed to do, like December 1st? I have that one, but did we already approve that one?
We have not. Did we send it to you?
Yeah, I think I have it. I have, yeah.
I think we did, then we did approve it, I believe. We'll have to, Geneva has a wonderful little chart.
I know, she showed me yesterday.
I
That's very good.
I need to put it on my wall. Geneva, I don't believe we've approved that one. Is that right?
December 1st is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
December 1st.
December
Yeah.
1st is approved. It is up on the website
beautiful.
in my town government.
Thank
Good,
God,
that was
someone
great.
knows.
Thank
Someone
you,
knows
Grace.
what we're doing here. Okay, very good. All right, cool.
Okay, let's move on to reviewing special town meeting. It was definitely an interesting weather day.
And
for
the-
that.
Grace, do you know the official head count for the meeting? It definitely was over
133.
6. What was it?
133.
Wow.
Oh, that was
And
great.
that was considering how bad the weather was. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
And it was our
I think-
first inside one since COVID started.
I think that's a
Yeah, and-
modern day record for a special town meeting, isn't it? I mean, I don't ever remember when that, maybe I missed one or something, but.
There was one with broadband before when we were doing something with.
Oh, yeah.
Before that overpack. I mean, but that was the only one.
Okay.
That was many years ago.
I mean, I've been to special town meetings where there's 12 people there. So it's like, or whatever. So.
And that is why our quorum is 9.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I thought it was a good meeting. I thought Paul did a good job. I mean, what are we supposed to say about this meeting? It was all good, I think. For
Was
me.
good.
Well, I know going into it, there were a lot of concerns. And I just want to emphasize that our initiative and how we were, that we have to make sure that we don't disconnect. We were having people come back in so they wouldn't have to stay in the tough conditions for the whole meeting. So they were coming in and out. Luckily, the few people that were doing that ended up staying in the building. Because in my conversation with Donna, she advised that you really can't do that. You need to make sure people are in the meeting and not facilitate, they're not hearing the discussion prior to votes. So we won't be repeating that experiment again on advice of counsel, but I think it did help bring some people there that might not have come because they saw that we were making an effort to include them. So
The only couple of two takeaways I have that I think it's more tech issue. So if we're going to do it again, that we have the password access to the Wi-Fi. Not only just to be able to people be able to bring stuff up on their phones if it's online, so we don't have to print stuff, but also if there's an emergency for those who don't have cell signal, their family members can get a hold of them.
yep.
And maybe we can figure out a way to get either a portable printer for us to use or the copier that's at the school, so that Becky, you don't have to run to town hall to do copying and we can do it right there. I'm happy to help and look for a reasonable small portable printer that can, not expensive, but can fulfill that if we don't want to or can't access the school's copy machine, which I understand that they may want to hold it close and not share.
Yeah, typically at an annual town meeting, we have somebody from the school there, but there
Yeah,
was
those are just the tech things that just going forward, just for smoothing things over. That's all.
No, those are all good points. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Them.
And in line with that, I will also make sure in going back and forth with Grace that we're clear on all the handouts, because I made an assumption that the full bylaw was what the planning board had delivered to her, and it wasn't. And that technically because I didn't include the full bylaw in the warrant because it would have been 25 pages. It was required that we have it there. So it was critical that that those documents were available to do the articles.
So maybe we can think of an electronic way that we could make them available quickly too. Like in a Google Drive, and open it to anyone that wants to pop in. If it's not already on the website, for people who have electronic device, they can look at.
But it was on the website. It was available, full text on the website, but from Donna's perspective, that did not matter.
Well, and also people in the room didn't have access to Wi-Fi to log in to be able to do it, to see it. Yeah.
So we'll try to do better next time, but
No, it's just, we haven't had a meeting in person in the 4 years, almost 4 years. So.
Yeah, a long time.
So other than, not having done this for 4 years, it went okay. It went fine,
And I really appreciated all the assistance from the school staff that set up everything. That was really helpful. And Jackie's willingness to allow us, that wouldn't have happened 2 or 3 years ago, so.
Eric, do you mind if we take a comment from?
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah.
Tracy?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment on the availability of the bylaw on the warrant. The reason for that is that in order to amend bylaws, you have to have a special town meeting, which is what you had. But also you have to make the text of the bylaw change available to the membership, or in this case, the townspeople prior to. Technically, just having it available at the meeting didn't quite cover the legality of it, but I know with with it being so long, that would have been a lot of paper to send it out with the warrant. But that's, I think, what council was meaning, that you had to just having it available online, people who don't have access to the internet. I think it has to be done to cover all bases legally. It has to be on the warrant.
Oh, on the warrant or available with the warrant at the meeting, I think is what Donna clarified, which is.
That's how we've done it before, is with the warrant.
Tracy's point.
Yeah, you can attach stuff to the warrant.
Yeah.
When it's long.
Yeah, it's to give people time to look at it before they got to vote on it,
Yep.
Any other takeaways or comments? No, we did pretty good for the first one out of the gate.
Yeah, really.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Moving on to CPC appointment.
I see Miriam is here.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Miriam.
Hello.
Hi. So, I guess you are volunteering to be on another committee, the Community Preservation Committee. So, did you want to make any statement about it? I'm sorry for jumping in. Rita wanted to make sure that we didn't forget.
Well, we want to have a representative from the Conservation Commission, and unfortunately, nobody else wanted to jump at it. I certainly would have been happy to have somebody else do it, but I'm willing to do it until something changes. Maybe one of the other commissioners' schedules will open up next year and we can revisit that. That would be my hope.
Okay. So does that mean is there just 1 year, does this appointment just go through 6:30?
I don't know.
I should go check.
I think I was told that, so for what that's worth, I think it does.
It's to finish off the year.
Yeah,
Wait for Becky to come back just to verify that. We need music or something. Miriam, you don't think this is going to be too much work with all the other committees that you sit on or chair?
No, sure. No, no problem.
All the CPC appointments are for 1 year.
Okay,
It is through the end, through June 30.
okay, so for the remaining to
Yeah.
finish up. Okay. Any further questions, Eric, at all?
no, I think that's fine with me. I think in general, well, obviously, and I'm sure Miriam would agree, she said she agreed, we want to sort of diversify the membership of committees as much as possible. So that's the only, if this appointment lasts until 6:30, that's fine. Hopefully by then she'll convince someone else to do it. Put it that way.
I agree. Okay, so all in favor of appointing Miriam DeFont to the CPC?
Stalker eye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. Or I'll second that. Okay, and then
Right.
Stalker, aye, make peace, O'Neill,
Yeah,
aye.
yes. That's what it says in the minutes. I can see him. I can see him.
Okay, so that's set. Thank you, Miriam, for volunteering to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, on to DLTA issues offered by FERCog.
All right, I'm going to share the screen.
Make me a co-host in case your screen goes down.
Yep. Okay. Okay. All right, so did you all read through this document? There are so the first category is climate change adaptation. So I think they start off with issues that they are already working on or potentially have funding for technical assistance. Am I at the end? Where's the rest of it? There we go. So then we have economic development and housing, municipal regional capacity building. Miriam's been involved, well, Concom's been involved in the shared Concom agent. We have shared services, and there it's at the top of the list. So this project is they've already completed the feasibility report. So we don't need that one. And we have transportation, zoning policies and plans. And out of all of those, they want us to pick 3 items.
Okay.
And then we can sign up for the culvert assessment waiting list, which I think we really want to do.
What's the one about, it's gone by so fast on the screen. It's about electric car charging. They're, I don't know, I see what's on the list there.
I think it was the
What
I was at the beginning.
category was under?
I think the first top.
Keep going. I think it was toward the end of what you were showing us.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at the beginning. No, it was towards the end.
Hmm. Not under share, that wouldn't be a share,
Oh,
transportation.
transport,
Up
yeah,
there.
AV charging station implementation assistance. So I would
Well,
look
we've
for, I
gotten
would,
grants, we had the grant in hand and I could not get the highway department was unable to complete the state, because you have to, once you locate it, I had, Pechoric Electric was here, highway came down, we cited it, with Pechoric. And, we were just about to get the grant, but then the highway department with their vacation schedules were never able to do their part. So we've had, yeah, it's always nice to have assistance. So we should, if that's what you want to do, I'm just saying there's other ways to go about it. If this is not something that they follow up on, we can follow up on it, or the ECAC can follow up on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't mean to steal ECAC's thunder. I mean, whatever happens to make this happen, as far as I'm concerned, just for people that have electric cars in town, as well as for, I would think eventually we would want to have a fair number of electric vehicles, on the police and fire and so forth. But this is down the road, maybe even highway department, whatever, bigger trucks and so forth. I don't know. But anyway, I would think we want to have some sort of electric vehicle charging situation that was good. I don't care how we get it.
The one we were
We
gonna
can-
put in was dual, so it would have meant 2 spots, right? Outside below the retaining wall on the west side of the building.
Right.
Isn't there one there already, Becky?
No, we don't
No.
have any electric chargers. I
Oh,
know
I thought we were working on one many years ago, a few
we
years.
did, and it was almost in hand, and then I couldn't get the highway department to be available at the
That's
time
what you meant,
that
I'm sorry.
the grant folks. So it didn't pan out.
What do they have to do? They have to dig a underground wiring trench or something? What's the highway department
Yeah.
have to do? Yeah.
They were gonna they were gonna assist the electrician when they were there, but then they have to pour cement and put in the pedestals and for the electrical conduits and the pedestals for the unit.
Right.
We were piecing it together and they were gonna do that part, but they weren't available. And then Pechoric wasn't available later when highway was available. It was just unfortunate.
Well, is this something you're saying this is something we could do ourselves, so we don't need this grant for, which is fine with me, if that's what makes it happen. But I
Well,
just didn't see it happen.
I'm happy to, go with it, at this point, I don't know where they're offering electrical chargers. I'd have to go back out. They used to be trying to get rid of them all the time. They were constant emails about it. So it's worth putting in, adding it to the list in case
Okay,
nothing else is available. I mean, we could, unless you come up with a better one and you could change your mind, because this is the easiest one to replace, I think. It's one we can
Okay.
make work for sure.
yeah, right, okay.
Okay, so do you want to start from the top again and see if there's anything at?
Sure.
Yeah, scroll little slower.
Slow down.
Don't want anyone to get nauseous. Oh, I'll go to the top first, though.
This is the top.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The flood risk, that's done by the other thing that we were part of, right? I'm forgetting the
Yeah,
acronym.
MVP
Yes, thank you.
grants and all that.
So that was kind of covered by that piece, unless we
Yeah,
wanted,
yeah, you're right. It does seem like that kind of doubles up on
yeah,
about,
it
yeah.
does.
Yeah. The pollinator habitat corridor.
It's okay with me to put that as one for now. We can always go back and, we've already, yeah.
Because we've already done some work. Oh, it says we completed, I think because it was in the open space plan.
Oh, I see, right, it's already been done.
And I think the MVP thing had that in there too. Didn't it? I thought there was something when we were talking, maybe it was, I may be remembering it correctly. So.
I
but
know there
thought
was a lot of conversation in relationship to the Wheelock Solar.
Oh, that might have been where I'm remembering it from.
Well, let's skip that one then for now, since it looks
Okay.
like it's been done.
Okay, economic development.
Well, the business industry part, that doesn't really fit.
Yeah, I don't think this would really fit. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, our planning board
Industrial
does
park, yeah.
focus on it. Regional housing plan.
Conduct inventory.
It seems, I know it became clear that the main topic at the MMA was housing. The governor spoke about the need for housing, the housing crunch, and anytime I heard people referring to housing, it's like the small houses they were talking about were 700,000. It's like most of the towns around Boston, 700,000 is a small ranch.
Right.
There's a real housing crunch going on, but I think it's not one of our issues.
Mm.
I mean, it might be good to know what what
We
kind
also-
of needs aren't being met. And as I know, as a landlord this year, we ended up in a situation where we had to rent off season. It was usually if you don't rent your house by September 1st, you're a goner until May. This year, we went out and we had over 20 people within 3 days. That was, I've never seen it like that. There's a lot of, I think housing really is an issue, but.
Well, there was a boom, and then a lot of houses were bought up during COVID as people moved out of cities.
Yeah, and I think, our inventory people felt was very low price considering if they came from out east at all.
Mm-hmm.
Municipal and regional capacity building.
Well, the first one there, I don't know if we have, we definitely
Yeah.
have some abandoned and distressed property in town. I'm not quite sure what this would tell us to do or how it help us deal with it, but it's one of those things. We definitely have it.
But we don't have much of it. I mean, like that house, most of them are owned and are for, that they're, it's between, someone has died and relatives have taken over and they're trying to sell the property. Do you really know of a number of?
Well, that's not abandoned. That's in lingo.
Right.
Well,
It's distressed though. No question about that.
Right.
That's just an idea. If we can,
That's an
you're right.
idea.
There's certainly not a lot of it in town, that's for sure. So it may be something if we need something to put in at the very end to make number 3, that might be something to put in. We don't have to put it in now.
Yeah, because I think that's much more for a town like Orange, where clearly they have vacant, abandoned buildings that are off the tax rolls. And they have dozens of them,
Right.
unlike Shutesbury's situation, where I think you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of them, more than a handful.
Right.
But they're still here, I guess. It is, maybe it's one of the ones we end up putting down. Other one that jumps out here is the foster municipal engagement and involvement. We definitely have an issue with volunteers coming forward and, that sort of thing. And we can see that there's definitely a potential for some retirements. So I wonder if that one might fit and help us in any way.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. Yeah, it might.
Maybe there's some key things to help get, people more involved in town government and town committees and foster some citizen engagement in that way. And we've come off of a few retirements and, retirements will keep coming. So just a thought.
Right. We could certainly pencil that one in, as we say.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
see
right.
if
But
it-
On the rural policy plan implementation, I know Linda Dunleavy has been doing a lot of work and advocating for our area and its impact. They've gotten more grant monies for the schools. I wonder what kind of projects. I know Aaron Saunders is lobbying heavily for the new pilot formulas.
I was
guess-
going to say that's something that would help us a lot in changing the pilot formula.
Yeah,
right. So maybe this is something that, I know it's work is currently going on, but this seems to be an ongoing one that what jumps out at me is the long-term effect of COVID on our economies is different than what it might be out in the other part of the state. So maybe that's also something that we think about this one.
Yeah, we could. Yeah,
And we've always lived quite a self, when it came to social distancing, Shutesbury has always been really good at social distancing until we're all together, right? So that was part of, but how did it affect us? Is a probably good thing to learn too. So I kind of like this.
the regional municipal wage and classification study. That's interesting that they're going to try to expand it. But I don't know that's their work. I don't think that's anything that we would be doing.
We benefit from it, but that's only after they've
done the work.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of use it after the fact.
Any continuing education workshops you guys would like to see?
I don't think so. I think my sense is that would be a waste of our vote here, but
Well, those things are offered all the time. You go onto FERCog, you see all those, and there's so many webinars out there online. They're kind of at your fingertips in many ways.
Maybe this is where we'll find something.
Now, this one struck me. This one's been on one of these others that we've seen, the new collective purchasing ideas. So they have fuel bids up here, but maybe they could explore some, office supply or some procurement of other items that towns use regularly And if bought in bulk with multiple towns, it could lessen the cost for each town for those items. Just a thought. Like, have someone maybe do a procurement feasibility study, have someone get things together, and then everybody order from one website, everybody gets the same discount, that sort of thing.
Yeah, what would that be, like paper, or what would it be?
Well, paper's a good one, right? So like a Staples Advantage account, maybe for, FERCog's towns, where there's been some haggling to paper is discounted by 25% or something like that if you order it, through that space, like or the regularly used items, like fire departments use certain things all the time, and police departments use certain things all the time, office supplies, certain, that sort of thing. And maybe it may not be a huge significant, but it could help budgets as inflation goes up, and at least you're getting some discount. We do that with the region where we share the main office, right? And so everybody contributes to that. And I'm kind of thinking of it as, you have that main office working for 4 schools or 3 schools. And then, what happens if all those 3 schools purchased their office supplies together in bulk, and there'd be a discount. So it's a similar thing,
Right.
but with town, I don't know. It's worth the thought. They already do the field bids, they could establish an office supply account or a fire supply account, fire department supply account, or whatever. And just, those regular things work out a quantity discount.
Yeah, and then
Right.
you have the options of the state grants. You can get a lot on the state grants already. I'm sorry, state contracts.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of, you can maybe have it all in one place, or, what I'm saying, something like that. It may seem small, but in the long run, it could have, it could offset some other inflationary things.
Yeah, I'd say we should pencil that one in too, and we'll make, I think we're getting to the point we're gonna have to pick 3 of these, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad to have 6 or and pick 3 out of 6 or whatever.
Right. So I guess under other, Becky, like procurement, maybe the word, or I'm not sure how we would.
Well, office supplies definitely, I would think, would be one of the things for sure. Just office supplies.
You can even do it with computer equipment and stuff. You can get, you haggle down, say, hey, if 4 towns order computer equipment from you, would you give us a discount? That sort of thing. That.
And the idea would be that FERCog would be doing that. Is that what we're thinking here?
They could be the one. They could be the one that maybe establishes the account, or maybe establishes the initial deals or haggling,
Mhm.
and then they say, oh, anybody who signs it, like, use this number for Staples Advantage to get discounts on these contracted items, I guess,
Mhm.
like paper, or, being one of those, because that's the one everybody probably uses the most of. Or it could, it could be salt for the roads. It could be sand even, but if you get it.
They do, just so you know, next week one of the things that you guys just signed off on is allowing Tim to sign off on his own contracts. And one of the things they do annually, Melissa, is a whole list of materials, sand, all kinds of gravel, all kinds of
They
dirt.
contract them. Yeah.
And they
But
do
we're
that
talking to
annually.
those initial, so for
Yeah.
whatever the things are that they figure out most people use, they get the contracts and the discounts, and then the towns order directly from that supplier,
Which is a huge help,
Can be, yeah.
because you wouldn't
Yeah,
want
I
to
would think.
Otherwise, we'd have to go out to bid on each and every item, and there's like 100 of them.
Right, right. So this is kind of pre doing that, right? Older adult services. We do have our own Council on Aging, and we also have the neighbor.
Yeah, neighbors helping neighbors, or whatever it is.
Yes, thank you.
I think Miriam raised her hand.
Miriam?
Hi. Yeah, I just, am I visible?
see you.
I am, yeah. In one of my other hats, I'm on the fundraising committee for Village Neighbors.
Thank you, Village Neighbors. Thank you.
And, you know, I just want to share that we are working toward looking for funding streams in order to have a paid staff, with the goal of really expanding our membership and expanding services across the 4 towns that we're serving. So we are trying to develop a development plan for that.
So which one of these things would that be? Senior center expansion? Or what would-
Regional
what would-
sharing.
Regional sharing, I guess?
Well, you know, it could fall under, I guess, age and dementia friendly community planning.
Right.
You know, we do a lot of dementia friendly programming. We provide trainings on dementia friendly communities, and provide a lot of services that the town can't provide, all through volunteers.
Yeah, I'd be okay with doing this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger.
Now, when I think, Becky, wasn't it 50% of our town was 50 and older, 55 and older at one point?
It was,
That may have changed now a
I
little
think
bit
it
with
was
the house.
almost 60%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a large portion of the country. It's not just us, it's everybody's in that, not a lot of people are in that position.
No, there.
Boomers are aging out while we're dying.
Right.
How about the regional sludge pressing and composting opportunities?
I think you'd have to have a
You'd have to have a water treatment.
towns, yeah,
Right.
you'd have to have water treatment for that.
How about the
Mm.
regional public water supply? We might be needing those pretty quickly because of PFAS.
Yeah, that's true.
I will not say no on that one. So maybe that's one too. Would that be some of the stuff that they would do after the PFAS, or would they kick it back for us to find those opportunities? Would they help us through some of that? Or, well, we won't know. We don't know. I suppose we don't know yet.
We can ask.
We can ask.
We can ask for the world.
Yeah, I think that's a,
Good one.
realistically, we could have to go through that, do that,
I can't
as
imagine.
much as we don't want to.
Right. So that probably maybe bubbles to maybe toward the top of that list that we've, because it's such a hot topic at the moment.
Right.
The one that says work with DEP to support more operator training programs, that's operating a water treatment plant.
Right. Yeah.
Sewage
And sewage, yeah.
treatment.
Right.
And one thing that was interesting, because of PFAS, there's now concern about the sediment. and the sludge that comes out of a water treatment plant, that it too might have PFAS. And so it's getting more expensive out east. A DPW director was saying that the cost of disposing of the sludge or recycling it has gone up 3 times in the last couple of years, which is, so it's gone from like $30,000 to $100,000 or more. And, for small communities, that kind of increase just to get rid of your waste is a lot to deal with.
It is.
Did anybody want to look more at zoning policies and plans? I think that's
Um,
I think we have a lot of that under control.
yeah, I think so too. I think more
Yeah.
so than most people. Also zoning bylaws, and down below that, we've got a lot of that dealt with too.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't think we're gonna need the recreational marijuana. We did have a request for a host agreement, but I haven't heard from the person again. We might though, we might need assistance there. But it's not, it's cultivation, which they include. So that might be
So,
helpful. I'm
What
sorry.
is it? Can you scroll back so we can see what that one is, Becky? What is that one?
Right here.
It's right in the middle of the screen.
Oh, I'm looking, there it is.
Recreational marijuana, retail, cultivation, and processing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me eventually the town's gonna have to have a policy on that, even if somebody isn't doing it right now, they're gonna do it at some point, that's for sure. Or I would think they would be.
Yeah, I think
And
we had, I know they did the work on hemp, but I don't think we've done much on marijuana. And if we have a grower in town, because there's a big debate whether you should even have a host agreement at this point, because there's really no benefit to towns for having a host agreement when it comes to cultivation. There's no financial benefit. There could be services needed, but that you could recoup the cost of the services that you provide. And you might need an agreement for that, but there used to be, you could get the 3% on sales. But if it's only cultivation, there's no sales, so there's no additional incentive. But if we do have someone doing it, we'd want to make sure there's some kind of clear policy in place.
Yeah, I would think we would. I mean, I have some friends up in Maine, and somebody down the road from them, and they're a rural town, Berwick, Maine. And someone down the road from them has a big marijuana farm, and the smell is unbelievable. And it's like, they can't, whatever, they're gonna have to sell the house and leave, basically. So, well, I just think that there should be some rules about what you can do and where you can do it, that's all.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think that's a bad one to pick at all.
I think that could be really helpful, especially because when we first got the call, I called Donna, but the new legislation had just passed. So the template host agreement that she would normally share, she didn't want to share it yet because the laws had impacted it quite a bit. So, and she's, the law associations have been going through it, and she said in the spring there should be some good information. But if we could get some help from FERCog in case the buyer does buy that property, that would be, we might be able to have a chance to get out ahead of it a little bit.
Not that I'm necessarily advocating it, but I did read about a town in Washington State that, like, they had a town-owned marijuana store, and they basically got, I don't know, whatever it was, $1 million a year for their budget or something. I can't remember. We read it a long time ago.
Kind of like the New
I'm not-
Hampshire liquor stores.
Yeah, it is. I'm not saying we should do that, but I'm just saying that whatever, it's out there.
And where was that, Eric? In New Hampshire?
Washington State, Washington
Oh,
State. that I read
Washington.
about. Yeah, state of Washington.
Yeah, they were the first to legalize, weren't they?
I think they might have been.
Yeah, them or Colorado were.
No, Oregon decriminalized it.
Let's see. So we'll add that one. Is there anything else? I think we're at the end, right, Becky?
Yep.
Okay, so we had the marijuana recreational marijuana zoning bylaw, etc. And scroll up again. And the adult services one, possibly procurement.
Oh, and where was the region, the public water supply
Down below.
opportunity? Where did that go?
Do we want to choose that conservation commission agent? Is that, or is that duplicating?
Already,
what's
it's
our-
already
our-
done. They've done their
right.
study and
Okay.
James been working with them. So I think that
Okay, forget that
That's
one.
all
then.
set.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. That's what I thought.
Okay, so where did the Council on Aging one go? And the water.
Down toward the bottom. Keep going, keep going. Lower.
There's the council on aging right there.
There's the council, older adult services.
Oh, they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, now is that Council on Aging? We really should ask planning. I guess we could include it, but so how many do we have?
We had lots. So we did the public water supply, the adult aging services one, the potential purchasing thing. There was the marijuana. We're like up to 6 now, I think.
Yeah.
Do we have a
just the
top
electric?
3?
We talked about the electric vehicle one. We should just take that off the list. We've got better ones now. But that'll eliminate
The
that.
water
Since
ones, the regional water supply opportunities, public water supply opportunities, that seems to fit with the PFAS issue. So I think that should be at least one of the 3.
Okay,
I agree with that. That's a good plan.
I also think that we do want to be ahead of that marijuana thing too, right, Eric? Want to at least
Yeah,
see.
I think that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I think eventually we'll have to have a bylaw that says, here's the town's position on that topic.
And then is there another one that pops out?
so the other ones are the purchasing for office supplies and the age, what was that?
It was the agent dementia friendly
Age dementia friendly.
Yeah, she's got a copy.
for the village
Yeah.
neighbors.
That one's okay with me. If they're trying to raise money for that anyway, if people are trying to do that anyway.
All
I'm
right,
not sure how this would
okay.
help them though.
Well,
And
it was
to do fundraising for village neighbors.
Yeah,
And this is to create an action plan for town, and I think our Council on Aging is working on action plans.
right.
so maybe we leave this with the council on aging and the village neighbors to work out between themselves. Is that what you're saying, Becky?
Yeah, I'm just not sure how this would assist village neighbors. And I think the council has done quite a bit of work, but we should ask them.
And does their status as the the nonprofit, does that affect this? Or does that affect?
Right, because they're
It might.
independent of.
Right, they're independent of the town, right?
But they work with the Council on Aging too, and we have crossover membership. And David Dan started Village Neighbors.
Yep. But I mean,
Um,
for the funding part though, is
Right.
because it would be, we might have to filter through the Council on Aging.
Yeah. See, I don't think we would get any money through this. These are only planning.
No, that I understand, but I'm just kind of, walking through the process that maybe FERCog would go to the Council on Aging more directly than the Village Neighbors, being that it is independent of a town, an actual town,
Yeah.
Well, let's go down the list and leave this one aside for now. We've got two. Maybe we'll
Okay.
come back to this.
We don't need sewage treatment yet.
No, God.
And I don't think we need a speed study. I think Kristen has her new speed, the second sign is about to go up. The highway department put the second one together.
Oh, good. That first one still does not work when it's dark out, I mean, when there's no light. I've mentioned this to Chris, and I don't know what is happening with that, but it's not working.
So we've reached out to the IT department
Ah.
because they have to get the app accessed into the computer system so that I'm able to go into the computer system and change everything we need on there. So we're working on it.
Excellent. I love it. This voice from afar just answers my questions. Unbelievable.
I think Kristen was supposed to be on at 6:20.
Yes, we are going over. We are over a schedule.
So maybe we should, how would you like to wrap it up? Pick one more?
Yeah, let's do that quickly.
Rural policy plan implementation? No, that's politics and we can do that without asking that for that.
There was the one about the rural policy plan implementation. Or Becky, see it under municipal regional capacity buildings. We had talked about that one a little bit.
Oh, changing the pilot formulas and all that.
Yeah. How does that feel? The other two are kind of fun, but
Sure,
this
we
one's,
can put that one down. I think that's more advocacy required by us, but we might learn it more and get more
we
engaged.
could, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
so those
I'm all right
three.
with that one.
All right.
right. Moving on to, since Kristen's here, Eric, do you mind if we move Kristen up ahead of the MSBA boiler?
Yes, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Associates? Okay, because she's had a long week last week. Kristen.
Yeah.
It's been a long week this week.
It's only Tuesday. I know. I hear you.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Would you like to report
Hey.
to us?
Yes, please. There's a couple of items on the agenda. I did send out emails, Becky, to you and also the select board. You should have something in your inbox, 2 emails from me. The first thing that I would like to bring forward is in regards to my newest amazing officer, Devin Peltier, who's with us today. And I'd like to talk about this first so that he can get out of the office and get going on what he likes to do best, which is his patrolling. It was brought to my attention that on January 14th of this year, there was an overdose in the town of Wendell. An officer from the New Salem Police Department, our officer, Devin Peltier, and an officer from Leverett all responded. Officer Peltier was the second officer on scene. The first was a New Salem police officer. And I would, if you would indulge me in a moment, to read an email that I received from the sergeant in Leverett in regards to Officer Peltier. He has not heard this yet. Dear Chief Burgess, I would be remiss if I didn't reach out to offer my praise and thanks to Officer Devin Peltier. This past Saturday, January 14th, 2023, Officer Peltier assisted with an overdose call located in Wendell. While on the scene, his demeanor was professional, calm, and collected. As you can imagine, the scene was a bit chaotic with a seemingly dead person coming back to life. Very vocal and upset parents and multiple agencies working together to care for this patient. Officer Peltier was very willing to offer his assistance in whatever needed to be done. This would include providing me with pamphlets for the family so they could seek services through CSO and the Franklin County Outreach Program. Officer Peltier's aid was a great help, and I am happy to have him patrolling alongside me for whatever comes next. Following that, he also forwarded me from the opioid task force team an email that states, I just wanted to send you a message with a thank you. Our Connect outreach team has made contact with your recent SIMS referral. This is a program for overdoses in Franklin County. First by phone, they were able to meet in person and the visit went very well. We're currently proposing locations for treatment and assisting them to navigate insurance barriers. Today, the mother reached out for services as well so she can help support her son. The mother specifically said that the responding officer was great, gave her flyers with information, and explained Connect. This is a textbook example of how the process works and what we can do to accomplish. And that was signed Randy Herc, Connect Project Team Manager. Therefore, with the blessing of the town and our select board, I am presenting a commendation certificate to Officer Peltier. I'll tell you that I am so proud. I'm proud every day, but the care that Officer Peltier shows in people that are in crisis is above and beyond. It's exemplary. So I did send you a copy of the certificate if you wanted to share that on the screen. I'm not sure if you wanted to or able to, but it states the Shutesbury Police Department Certification of Commendation. Officer Devin Peltier, in recognition of your professional response, January 14th, 2023, that resulted in saving a life through the assistance of the administration of Narcan and providing follow-up resources, issued this 31st day of January 2023. I am very proud of you, Officer Devin Peltier, and I am so glad that you chose to make Shutesbury your work home. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Devin.
I just wanted to
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Devin.
this accommodation. I am truly humbled by it and truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you for all your hard work. We
It's
appreciate
awesome.
it.
I'm just gonna have him come around the corner and I can hand him this. And this will go into his permanent file and will be posted on our social media and perhaps the website as well. So more great news.
That's pretty good.
It's wonderful.
How are you going to top that?
I don't know. I don't know. I get compliments regarding the officers all the time. Devin being our newest, I am getting compliments in regards to his professionalism and care. And you know how high of a standard I have and how we as a police department care for the community. So it just made me very happy. He was able to be the second officer on scene next to New Salem, got there very quickly and safely. And had it not been for that quick response, we might have had a different outcome. So I'm just so pleased. The next thing I wanted to bring to the town's attention is that you know that I have been working diligently and the police department has been working diligently in gaining the trust of our community. And with the recent events in Memphis, Tennessee, which I responded on our social media page, and will be also making a a statement for our webpage as well in regards to the disgusting behavior of the police officers in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm still working diligently to gain the trust of our community and outlining communities and standing in the forefront of policing and outside the box to show, not only speak about what we stand for, but to act on that. So having said that, I decided that it would be important for the Shutesbury Police Department to submit what we believe our core values are, and that we stand by these core values and that we act on these core values. I was looking through different agencies' web pages, trying to stay in the forefront of policing and up to date in things. And I came across a police department in Wayland, Mass, who has core values very similar to this. And I liked it so much, I decided that we needed to adopt these as well. So with the town's approval, I just want to read off the core values that we want to state that we will stand by and we will act on. So if you'll indulge me, Shutesbury Police core values: integrity. We are committed to, and I did send this as well, Melissa, if you wanted to.
Oh, I can put it up on the screen. Yep.
Okay, we are committed to the enforcement of laws and the preservation of order and property. We are honest, truthful, and consistent in our words and actions, and therefore worthy of the public's trust. We exercise discretion in a manner that is beyond reproach. We do not accept gifts or special considerations as a consequence of our office. Professionalism. We treat the public and our colleagues with courtesy and respect. We understand that our appearance, words, and demeanor contribute to the public's confidence in us. We are responsive to the community and deliver services promptly and efficiently. Fairness and impartiality. We act with fairness, restraint, and impartiality in carrying out our duties. We work with the community to continually understand and overcome cultural influences and unconscious biases. We understand that our actions, combined with the way we treat members of the community, contributes to our legitimacy in the eyes of the public. Teamwork. We work together as an organization in carrying out the mission of the department. As an individual members of the department, we are respectful to each other, and we work collectively to solve problems and serve the community. Efficiency. We keep abreast of our standard procedures, legal issues, and innovative topics, modern policing through regular training. We exercise rigor in thinking strategically about identifying trends, exploring alternative solutions, and solving problems. And lastly, advocacy and empathy. We have compassion for victims of crime and those having difficulty in their lives involved in the criminal process. As members of the community, we have respect for and promote the diversity of the community. We advocate for social and other supportive services, including rehabilitation services for those involved in the criminal justice system. We would like to adopt these core values and have the select board recognize that and have a vote of faith and approval on that.
This is good, Kristen. I appreciate you putting this together and doing the research to put these together.
Yeah, I agree, and I move that we do adopt those, that we do support them in adopting this policy.
And I will second that.
These policies.
I will second that. And all in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye.
Thank you so
One-
much.
One thing, Kristen, just make sure those are up on the website so people can see it, because I think they're great.
I absolutely will. I will send them out now that we have your approval in that to the web
Great.
committee. Moving forward, in any new hires, every officer will receive that in their new hire packet, and they will sign off that they will adhere to those core values. Currently, the officers that we have had input in that, and obviously they stand by those core values. You know, we may be strong, but we are, or may be small, but we are strong and we are mighty. And I think that we're working hard in our commitment. So
Thank you.
Thank you for all that work.
Okay, if no one else needs me, I'm
Okay,
gonna, okay,
I think you're good. Thank you
Thank you
very
so-
much.
thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to, my screen is not shared currently, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not clicking on things and, so shall we go back to the MSBA boiler acceleration program removal documents?
So as you all are aware, the select board voted not to participate in the MSBA boiler invitation. So as a result, there are two documents, a letter stating the fact that you won't change your mind and come back, and that we haven't already installed a boiler that we're gonna try to bill them for. It's all kinds of legal language protecting the MSBA. But it'll be in your box, Melissa, for you to sign.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to vote on signing it, or just because we've already done it? Shall
I
we-
think we already voted.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just a follow up on the prior vote.
Okay, so I'll sneak up and maybe do that in the morning, if not later tonight. Okay, so Gale Associates contract.
We're very, very close to a final contract. There was one item I need to get clarification from the building inspector, and I sent him the reports on the insulation and the attic, and I've talked to him about it, but he has not completed reviewing the information. So the contract will be held up until we get a response from him.
And just for clarification, this is the actual doing the roof contract, right? Rebuilding the roof contract.
Well, it's the design, it's the engineers, full
The
contract,
engineers, okay, it's the
not
engineers,
the
okay.
contract. It's the engineers.
Okay,
One step
that's what
closer.
yep. There's nothing to
didn't-
do now. We just wait till we see if
Right.
when we see it.
And if we get agreement early next week, or I mean, before the end of this week, would it be possible to do just a one item meeting that at noon? Just to get it approved to move forward?
As long as it's not tomorrow.
It would have to be 48 hours in advance.
I know.
I
Thank
think,
you.
yeah, so Friday at noon, I think works. Let me just check here. Something going on. No, it'll work for me.
Okay,
I can do that.
great, thank you.
When would we know? Just we know, I guess, tomorrow, or we have to know
I
by.
hope to know tomorrow. I'd have to know to schedule it tomorrow.
Yeah,
By-
right, exactly. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
We did the police chief, so ACM roof sampling report.
So I'm still waiting to hear from the engineer so when we did the exploration the designer does an exploration of the roof, and then while they're doing all their climbing on top of things and crawling through the attic, another company comes out and does sampling of anything that, take a slice out of the whole profile of the roof, and then they have it tested for asbestos. And the report was looking really, 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 really good until near the bottom of the second page, and there was one item in red, which is the tar paper that's on the old roof that is still in the building with the rafters on top of it and insulation on top of it. So it's encased in the roof. I'm still waiting to hear back on what the recommendation is going to be on what to do about it. Whether it's sufficiently encased or whether it will need to be removed.
And then,
When will we know that? Do we know when we will know the answer to that?
Hopefully by the end of the week. I've got a few calls out, waiting to hear back.
Eric, we have a question for Mary Lou. Is it okay if we,
That's
Okay.
fine with me, yeah.
Mary Lou?
Hi, Mary Lou Conca. I'm trying to understand what Becky just said about the roof. Would it be correct that they found asbestos and they're going to tell you if it is sufficiently encased, which might mean it's of no, danger to be exposed in the air, so then they're just gonna leave it?
Mary Lou, if it's in tar paper, so it's not in a item that is airborne naturally. They call it stabilized. So, and then roofing company's gonna tell us, or the testing's gonna tell us whether it's even more stabilized by what it's surrounded by.
And if not, they'll let us know what we need to do.
Okay, so then my first question then would be a yes, asbestos was found.
That's yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd even go so much as to say stabilized asbestos was found, being that it's been encased. So, but they'll let us know more information.
Yep.
Okay. And would they take another sample from a different part of the roof? To, maybe it's only a small.
I
portion
think
of
they
the
do
roof, or-
material samples
Okay,
and
that's fine.
so if it's in the material, it's part of the,
It's fine. Okay.
yeah. And they came inside to do that test in particular because there's nothing on the new, the new outer roof. That was all negative. They did a full profile, they took a slice out and there was nothing there. It was when it's only in the roof that from the building that was originally built in 72, where they found that.
Okay. All right. Is there any other information we need to know at this point? More to come, I guess, on that.
I'm afraid I was hoping to have the solution when I presented this, so I'm sorry that can't always get all the information as
That's fine.
fast as you want.
And annual town meeting date, which Grace has been very patient with us tonight as we get to this topic. So I saw in the email that was a proposed date of the 20th, I think, of May. Yes.
Right, yeah.
Grace, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I
There
can't
you
turn
are.
on, my video isn't working for some reason, but I'm here.
Okay. Eric, I don't know about you, but it seems like a good date, given all the other dates that need to be abided by prior to that.
I think so.
It's the same weekend we used last year. And last year seemed to, I think when we waited till June and very late in June, the first year, it stretched things out for a very long time. I think having it in May we'll be able to address the issues and keep moving without spending the whole 3 months rehashing the same issues over and over again. So I think it would be beneficial to be able to have it outdoors. People have been clamoring for that. And I know Grace, my concern was for this year. Grace brought up a bigger concept, and would you like to share that, Grace?
Oh, right. So, which was, we should maybe, I thought maybe we should go ahead and put on the warrant for annual town meeting this year,
that we're gonna keep our annual town meeting date as the third Saturday of May going forward. Because that way we don't have to keep having a select board vote to decide it. The last special town meeting we had, actually, before this past one, was in December of 2019. That is where we set our annual town meeting date as the last Saturday of April. In the last 2 years, we have never used that. So I say
Right.
we go forward with third Saturday of May. Let's make it official. And then we don't have to keep having this conversation about when should it be again, every year.
Well, it used to be the first Saturday in May for most of my time in Shutesbury.
But that conflicts with May Day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
people to
that's a
make
good
it.
idea, Grace. That's a good idea.
I do.
Cool.
Tracy.
The only thing I'm wondering about, and I just looked at my calendar, for some reason I don't see either holiday listed, but Mother's Day and Memorial Day. What's the-
Mother's Day is the week of 14th and Memorial Day is the 29th.
Okay, and so so neither of those are ever the third weekend? I'm not
And
sure.
Memorial Day would never be.
And Mother's Day might be. Okay, I
No.
just.
No,
that's-
it's usually the 12th, 13th, or 10th, 12th, 13th, or 14th.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so where is the calendar? That means that we have it on the 20th. That means that the last day to submit nomination papers is going to be April 1st. Which is very exciting. That gives us a nice couple months to track down willing victims to be fill elected seats. There we go. And it's pretty straightforward. The one other thing I wanted to say was, this is not something I'm asking the select board to vote on tonight, but I wanted to mention it. So how things work right now in Massachusetts in terms of local elections is we kind of get to decide whether or not we want to do vote by mail and early voting. The automatic thing that would happen is we do have vote by mail and we don't have early voting. If that's the case, then select board doesn't need to take any action. That would be my preference. Vote by mail is very popular in Shutesbury. Early voting turnout is always really, really low. It is a huge labor investment. And we do have in-office absentee voting. So if you are in a situation where you find yourself having to leave town right before election day, you do still have an option to come in person and vote. So I think that we don't really need early voting. If we get closer to election day and decide, oh, people are really excited about this one for whatever reason, we really want to, or maybe there's another pandemic, we really want to increase the options available, we can decide closer to election day. We have to, the select board would have to vote 5 days before early voting started, and early voting can't start more than 17 days before election day. So we would still have time to make that decision if something changed. But for the meantime, my preference and my suggestion would be we have vote by mail for our local election. We don't worry about early voting, in-person early voting. My current
seems like a good
understanding of the law is that if that's what we do, you guys don't have to do anything. But if we do anything else, if we opt out of vote by mail or if we opt into early voting, then the select board would need to vote on it. So that was just something I wanted to mention. If anyone has ideas or thoughts about this and wanted to reach out to me and talk to me, anyone is invited to do that.
Hey, Grace,
When do
just
we
a-
have to make a decision by? We do we have to make a decision? It
Not
seems
right
like
now.
a good idea to me, but I know not now, but
Yeah, I
must be
think
a
we
deadline.
would probably want to make a decision later in February, so that we can inform people about what the schedule is going to be and what the expectations they should have are.
So the mail-in, remind me, Grace, because I didn't participate in any of that during the pandemic. I voted in person. Vote by mail is you can request like an absentee ballot, or it's just sent to everybody in town who's on the voting rolls.
Vote by mail require, you have to apply for vote by mail, so you have to request.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess we can chat about that closer. To
the only other thing I would say about the town meeting, and we don't have to discuss this now, but to me, ideally, I would think we would try to have it where everybody was in one tent. In other words, we don't have all the select board and the finance meeting, we like 30 feet away from the people in the tent.
I think we should
that would
try
make
to
the
get,
whole,
yeah, I think we should try to get everybody under that big tent.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
So many people that aren't in the tent.
yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking of it from the sound perspective or the PA perspective. I mean, people complain. There's one complaint I heard from several people last year is that they couldn't hear. You know, they were like, you know, and the way to do it is the PA system is so far away from the people in the back room of that tent or the field for that matter.
And the tent provides a
going on?
speaker. Yeah, the tent becomes a speaker. It
Right.
traps the noise.
Yeah, and we could probably have more than one speaker too. That's the other thing. We have to spend a little money and get the speaker situation straightened out, even if we rent a speaker for the day or something, or I don't know, whatever. There's ways to do this that are not that, I mean, I even have speakers probably we could use, but anyway, I don't want to talk about this now because I just throw it out there.
I do agree with you, Eric, with under one tent or all close under one tent as possible.
Right. If people choose not to be under the tent, well, they can choose to do that, but at least this way, there's one place they could go and hear everything. I guess that would be my point.
So we'll make sure we have an early setup meeting about talking about
Right.
setting up such. And
Right.
was there anything else about town? We have to take a vote about town meeting.
Yes, you have to vote to set the date.
Do I
You don't
hear
get
a
to
motion to set the
tell
date
people the answer.
for this town meeting for May 20th, Saturday, May 20th, 2023?
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. And any further questions on that one motion? No. All in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very
Let the planning begin, Grace.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, all right. So much fun. All right. I think that is it for me. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you for staying.
Night.
All right. Now we're on to town administrator updates. Only 24 minutes late.
Okay, and so I went to the MMA conference last Friday. They had a great PFAS workshop. I learned about a lot of horror stories in communities out east, communities that do have, they have public water supplies, they have treatment plants, the plants are getting, not all of them have been upgraded and filters have been put in. A lot of them are not yet addressing all the PFAS, leaving people to get bottled water, which is available, but they have to, in apartment dwelling situations and more urban areas, they're, left to carry home 5-gallon jugs of water in the middle of the winter. And so PFAS is in relationship to some of our bigger neighbors. Our problem is almost controllable in comparison. I heard that $55 billion of money was requested from the Trust Water Supply Fund this year from different communities all over the state. And that's before this issue has even hit every community. So it's a big deal. We're going to do our best. We're going to make sure anybody who has any sign of PFAS is taken care of. If the town's responsible. The problem is for our community that half the people that have it, we're not responsible. I think we start by taking care of our responsibilities, but strategizing how to help care for the whole community long-term. I know some communities have grant programs that, if people need a POET, the purification of the water system, they can apply for a town grant and get it, if they're income eligible. And I think at some point we need to consider these issues to make sure that anyone who has it has a way to deal with it. But just we're going to be up to our eyeballs in it for the next few years. But just to think of the comparisons when it's a full public water supply system that's contaminated, and then it's in the sludge in the water treatment plants, and they can't get rid of the sludge without the bills, quadrupling, and their budgets are, taking hit after hit after hit. So yes, we have a problem, but we're not alone.
Becky, that may be where the POET systems or maybe that's where a procurement thing for FERCOG or even different towns.
That's a
might
good
help.
idea.
If a plumber or a plumbing company would be willing to discount some of the work or, for the installation, because the town does have this problem, even when homeowners are paying for themselves, as part of that. So might be
I think that's a good idea. Do you know, Becky, I mean, is there any sense of, is the state going to get involved in this at all in terms of providing money to the communities or the federal government? Is this just a Massachusetts problem? It can't be, I wouldn't think.
It's not just Massachusetts. The feds are getting involved, but there's even how they measure it is different. Every state has a different standard of how they measure it. There's so much that is not known, and the amounts that, I think the new federal standard that they're talking about coming out with, they explained there's no instruments to measure that small a quantity. So how are they going to do it?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. There's a lot to learn and identify, and it's piece by piece. Massachusetts is more actively addressing it than most communities. Most states.
It would just seem to me eventually Massachusetts and or the federal government is going to have to step in. This is going to be a problem that's bigger than the smaller communities can, and even the cities and so forth, that they're not going to be able to afford to do it, to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For another day.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have to share tonight.
Okay. All right. I guess we're at the moment of adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.